Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to some Toronto Raptors news. That's right, we have a Toronto Raptors news update, and you saw it in the thumbnail, and we have a familiar name being talked about in the Toronto Raptors, as it seems like every trade deadline, we get rumored to be interested in Danilo Gallinari, and this year seems like the year he is the most gettable, playing for an Atlanta Hawks team that has been better as of late, but Gallinari hasn't necessarily been a main focal point in those improvements. But he's a guy, it's a three-point shooter, a scorer, and can come off the bench and deliver some things that we need. So in this video, I'll dive into who Gallinari is as a player right now in 2022, who the Raptors would have to give up to get him, and if it makes sense for this team to go in and acquire Danilo Gallinari. But before we do, I gotta give you guys a reminder, a take, because pickup basketball is back. Things have opened up in Ontario, across Canada. They're starting to open up day by day. I'm even fortunate enough to partner with Javelin Sports. Javelin Sports application to get you guys back out there on the court, and you can see that in the description and in the pinned comment. You can download this application for absolutely free, and it's a perfect application. If you use the promo code Raptors4872, the code's in the description. You can see it. If you use that code, it's going to pop up on the screen. Yeah, 4872. If you use that code, you can come join the Raptors Digest pickup squad, right? And we're going to be playing all different parts throughout Canada, so definitely join that group down below and get your friends to join into that group, because I know myself, I get big Snapchat groups and all this sort of stuff with people saying that they'll show up to pickup games, they'll show up for some runs, and then they don't. No one ends up showing. You ask people if they want to play, you get 2 or 3 responses, maybe, we'll see if I'm opened up, and then it never happens. All those problems are sorted. They're all dealt with by the Javelin Sports app, making sure that people confirm they don't, and it allows an easy way for you to book gyms. For whatever gyms, locations, areas, want to lift weights, team sports, obviously I'm more suited to the basketball side of things, but you can literally do everything on this Javelin Sports app, so definitely download it, give it a try, and yeah, join the Raptors Digest group too if you're interested in playing with us at some point over the next little while. Joshy Ice, we have one scheduled, I believe, for this coming Tuesday, so that's something that should be coming there. I gotta confirm with Joshy Ice. He's checking his schedule, he's getting all that stuff going, but that should be the first one we have going with this group. But we do have some trade news to talk about. We do have the NBA trade deadline coming. But download the Javelin Sports app, helps us out big time, and I gotta make sure that this base bar continues to loop. But yeah, get the standings back up. But Danilo Gallinari, he's a guy that, and this is the official report. It's coming out from Mike Scotto of Hoops Hype, or Hoops something. But the Toronto Raptors have expressed interest in trading for Atlanta Hawks Danilo Gallinari. Hoops Hype has learned Toronto is one of a handful of teams that have inquired about Gallo. Now, Gallinari has been a guy at one point, a 20-point per game scorer, could come inside, can go into the lane, can do really anything out there on the court, on the offensive end. And this season, his numbers are down. Last season, they started to decline a little bit. They've declined even further this season, but we saw him play phenomenal in the playoffs last year. So we know when things come down, things matter. Gallo can certainly still get you a bucket, and the stats seem to indicate the same thing. If you look at his statistics for this season, only 10 points, 5 rebounds, right? Solid stuff for a guy coming off the bench. 1.4 assists, 41% from the field, which is all right, but 39% from the three-point line. One thing Gallinari, no matter how old he gets, no matter how many teams he plays for, wherever he goes, he'll be able to knock down the three, right? That's a guy that I think could be an interesting fit for the Toronto Raptors, because currently off our bench, right? We thought maybe Sfigi Water would be sipping on some Sfigi and he'd be able to come into games and knock down some three-point shots. He sort of baited us at the start of the season. Now, he's had good games throughout the year. He's played some defense, but Nick Nurse, he's down, banished to the like section. That's what we were talking about Yuta Watanabe last year after he was dunked on by Edwards, but Yuta is also a guy that's struggled from beyond the arc. Justin Champagnie Poppy, he's a guy off our bench that can knock them down, but has made some rookie mistakes at times over the course of this season, so Nick Nurse has kept a tight leash on him. Delano Banton's not known as the three-point shooter. Malachi can shoot, but he doesn't have that size, that length. So our bench could really use a guy that fits the height range of the Toronto Raptors. And while Gallinari's not the most mobile, running around screens and all that, he's become a very underrated defender. He has a high IQ in terms of positionally getting to the right place. He's not like the former Italian that we had on the Toronto Raptors, Primo Passansauce, Andrea Bargnani, where he comes in, who also isn't the most fleet of foot. Bargnani wasn't, but also didn't really position himself well, other than hedging screens. Bargnani was one of the best in the league at hedging screens. I got to give him credit there. He's one of my all-time favorite players, just for the culture and all that. I know people hate on Bargnani, but he's just a cool homie. Shout out Andrea. But Danilo Gallinari is definitely a much better defender in terms of that end. And I feel like for the Toronto Raptors, the role we could ask him to do, similar to what he did for the Atlanta Hawks last season in their playoff run, in their return, I think it could be cool. Now, what would it take to get Gallinari? I don't think he's that, Mike Escato essentially has said that there's a few teams inquiring about him, certainly because he's a veteran. He can do things. He can be reliable, more reliable than the younger guys we have currently coming off our bench. But the one sort of thing that probably would make some teams hesitant to give some stuff up is his contract. Because for the next couple of seasons, $20 million and $21 million. So he's not even an expiring contract just yet. He's going to get paid $20 million this season and next season. And for a guy that's scoring 10 points per game, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But fortunately for the Toronto Raptors, we have a guy that's making $19 million. That doesn't do anything. He's just chilling out there in Miami, and hopefully, and we've been joking a bunch. There's some people have come out and said that there's actual personal stuff going on with Goran Dragic. So hopefully, obviously, we want to make sure that's all good. But under the assumption that he's just out there chilling in Miami, right, living the life, watching Heat games, doing all that sort of stuff, right? Send him to Atlanta. Get them that cap flexibility, right? Maybe give them a second round pick so they're incentivized to trade one big contract for another, but they're getting an expiring deal, right? That could be something cool. Maybe one of those young guys. I don't know if I'd attach Malachi Flynn to that, even though I feel like he would thrive better in a different situation, but I still think Malachi has some value. I just wouldn't make him super expendable like anything like that. And maybe the Raptors could honestly, depending on what the Atlanta Hawks are interested in doing, right? Obviously, they like every team likes a bit of cap flexibility. If we're taking on that big contract, maybe we could actually, even though we're giving up we're acquiring a better player when compared to Goran Dragic, the fact that we do have to eat that $40 million over the next 2 years, maybe we could actually get some draft capital from Atlanta. That'll be the interesting sort of go-between if this deal actually happens. But I've been saying it. I've been on record. Obviously, a lot of people want to get a center, get a big man, get a 7-footer, and that's for sure. And we got another report I'm going to be recording right after this, probably dropping later tonight. But the Raptors are inquiring about a lot of centers over the course of this trade deadline. But Danilo Gallinari, I think probably the more necessary position, especially where our starters are playing so many minutes. Get a guy that can come off your bench, fill that 2, 3, 4 position, give OG, Scotty, all these guys some rest, right? And Fred VanVleet needs some rest, and Scotty can run some point guard, do some stuff like there. Obviously, Delon Banton and Malachi Flynn, they could potentially feed in there as well. But Gallinari could be a reliable role player for this Toronto Raptors team. And if we just get a couple of those, a couple of guys that we can count on to throw in there and not be trash on any given night, right? This is exactly what the Toronto Raptors need. Knowing their role, Gallo knows his role. I think it could be a cool fit. I think it would be a cool fit for the Toronto Raptors. I'd eat the salary, especially if we get some draft capital from Atlanta to do it, right? Give an expiring in Dragic for Gallinari who expires in 2 years. That's something I'd be interested in. But I don't know. Am I crazy for thinking this one? I think this one makes sense. I wouldn't add additional assets to it at all. So that's the one thing I will say about Gallinari. It's not the biggest, flashiest name, but I think it could have a serious impact on this team going forward. Also, want to note that we're doing our Raptors Digest hoodie giveaway. If you made it this far, definitely subscribe to the channel anyways. But we're doing the hoodie giveaway in the next live stream. It hasn't been claimed. The hoodie has not been claimed by the 2 people of the giveaway. So make sure you stay tuned to the live streams and subscribe to the Raptors Digest channel if you want a chance at that fire hoodie. So there's that. Subscribe to Javelin Sports. Use the code or download the app. Download the app at Javelin Sports. play with us as well, right? You want to join those Raptors Digest Opens, right? Hop down in that application. We got a group chat going in there too, which is a bit of fun. So join all that. You guys are the best for making it this far, as I said. Interesting trades coming up, so make sure you're subscribed. Check out the Instagram, the Twitter, the TikTok, all that cool stuff. Anyways, that's enough of me rambling. I'm signing out. Cheers.